Today I have a little handrail project to do, and I have to run out to my brother's cabin and measure it up. And then after that, we're going to come back here, cut and fit it up, and then weld it together using my new 800 watt laser welder from xTool. And then throw it in the back of my truck, run it out there, see if it fits. That way we can make sure it's ready for paint. I originally measured this up a while back, but looking now on my paperwork, I have numbers that contradict each other, and I have arrows pointed to some and not the others. And I have no idea why. So I'm gonna go verify my measurements. So today I'm just gonna focus on this corner piece. After that's up, I'm gonna focus on the stair hand railing itself. That way it gives me a point to measure to because we're gonna tie everything together. I want the outside of my post to be set in 1 inch from the outside of this trim board. So here I'm gonna make a reference line at 1 inch. And then I do the same thing on this other end here. And then I want the center of my handrail to be in the center of this trim board, so I'll come over 1 inch because my post is 2 by 2. And then I make a mark where I want to end on this trim board, and then measure from mark to mark. And the measurement I originally had written down is exactly what I need. It's been so long I just can't remember why I had it written down. But it's a good thing that I checked because, well, I've been burnt on that one before. Now before I start cutting this tubing, I want to show you what I have planned out. Here's sort of a top view of our handrail. These 3 squares are the uprights, each one is 2 by 2. These are the finished lengths for the top rail, and I subtracted 2 inches on each end for the spindles. Over here we have the elevation view with this set at 35 inches tall. Code says no more than 4 inches in between spindles. This worked out really well because our spindles are 1 by 1 and our top rail is a 2 by 1, making each step 5 inches wide. I wish I had a little better setup than what I do. I ended up grabbing some adjustable sawhorses, seeing that this ground isn't very flat. But we'll do the best we can with what we're given. One more sawhorse would have been nice. So I'll hook my tape right onto the end of this miter. And then I'll slide my cut piece with my tape measure on, right on the other side of this blade. And that method always seems to work out pretty well for me. Right on. Okay, now that we have everything cut, I'm going to assemble the small side first. Here I need to account for the thickness of my foot pads. Pull square, double check everything. All right, now we're going to tack this up. And for that, I'm going to use my new laser welder from xTool. To get started, I want to show you how simple it is to get this machine ready to use. This is the xTool MetalFab 800 watt laser welder. Here I'm going into the system settings and changing from millimeters over to inches. Then I can choose my material thickness, my material type, and my wire diameter. Then I turn on the wire feeder and enable the laser. The welder itself is built pretty solid too. 4 swivelable and locking casters. On the back you have gas port, power port, CNC port, power. On the front you have emergency stop, more USB ports, and your ground. Inside it takes a 4 or 8 inch spool, 2 drive rollers, and extra drive storage. Nice long ground clamp. The power cord's also plenty long, but I did have to buy an adapter. This is the style plug that you will need if you are in the United States. Gas hose is plenty long, but I did need an adapter as well. I got a box of these 10mm push to connects on Amazon for about $10. To get the hose out, you just push up and pull down, and just push it back in to connect. Here, this gun is fairly simple. It's got 2 triggers, a safety trigger and then a normal trigger. Wire feeder here. Laser and gas come out of here. Got your wire feed on or off. And these up and down buttons, they retract or extend your wire. And that red dot, that's where your laser's pointed. If you look on the middle of the screen, you can see it. And now I'm just cleaning the joints off with some acetone. Acetone seems to work really well. You would do this anyway if you were TIG welding this. Now it's time to start tacking everything up. And as you can see, I didn't really know what I was doing there. It just leaves the tiniest of tacks. You can tack with or without the wire, but if you're using no wire, you need to have a really tight joint. You can also go into the system settings and change your tacking parameters.
So I'm still really new to this whole laser welder thing. I think the more that I play around with it, the more I'm gonna like it.
I really like how the tacks are a lot smaller than MIG welding.
There's definitely a learning curve that goes with this. It puts the tiniest of weld on something and it looks phenomenal. Here I'm raising up my spindles by a 1/2 inch. That way they're centered on this tube. And then I cut 2 spacers. And just run your spindle right up into that spacer.
Here I put a couple tacks on each end of the spindle, and I was going for a nice tight fit up. Better too long than too short.
All right, so I threw a couple tacks onto the back side. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the next one.
I think I need to build myself a bigger table.
All right, so I put a little weld at the end here, and that's what I was able to do. It's weird, it kind of wants to push your gun away, and you kind of got to let it. I don't know how to explain it.
The ends are a good place for me to start practicing because I'm going to end up smoothing out these welds anyway with the grinder. I had a little gap in there, so I figured I was going to have to do a couple passes anyhow.
A little hiccup in there, but I don't know, it's getting better. All right, now I think I'm going to flip this end for end and add that small section before I put on the spindles. Now I think I'm going to add my lower rail. Make sure this is the same.
I think starting out, my biggest problem was I didn't know where to look. It almost seemed like I was guessing where I was going. Here I'm trying downhand, and this was easier for me to see what I was actually doing.
See, it's there. I gotta not try to manipulate the wire like I'm MIG welding. I gotta leave it alone.
Now it's time to flip it over and spin it around. For whatever reason, I prefer this end better than the other.
Stay.
I didn't really have a good way to keep this end perpendicular to the long end, so these magnets are just gonna have to do the trick.
I'm getting better at tacking anyway.
Here I am struggling a little bit again, but it's not as bad as what I was earlier. I put my tack in a bad location. I should have put it in the corner and not in the middle. So same thing with this end. I ended up making my spindles nice and snug. I was able to use a 4-inch spacer all the way up, and so that left my height at an even 35 inches. So the handrail is finally starting to look like something. I'm at the point now where I can start welding everything up. Seemed like it took forever to get to this point, but in actuality it only really took 3 hours or so. If you notice, I'm wearing glasses and not my hood. The welder came with welding glasses and a welding hood. I can see with the welding glasses a little better, but the light is almost too bright, so in the end I end up using my hood again. I always use a magnet when I'm adding end caps. This way they sit flush with the ends. End caps are made out of 14 gauge steel. I left about a 1/16 inch gap around the entire perimeter. That way when I buff off the ends with my grinder, my end cap still has metal attached to it. Here I increased the wire speed, hoping that I would fill up the gap a little bit faster. I'm also resisting the pushback on the gun a little bit, but I still wasn't getting the results that I was looking for. I don't think I even knew what I was looking for. So then I went into the advanced mode and I started experimenting with all the different options. Changed the wire speed, I changed the scan width, the frequency, and lo and behold, I start getting the results I'm looking for, which was a nice, smooth, little consistent bead. And also, the way that you're holding your gun has a lot to do with it. I'm used to manipulating the wire, but with this, you don't really do that. Just hold the gun steady, but be aware of your starts and stops. Now it's time to make the foot pads. I'm making these out of 1/4 inch steel. I used a 932 bit and I used a countersink. I cleaned the edges and the ends with a fiber disc, and then I used a flapper wheel on top of that.
I'm going to tack these foot pads on And I'm going to use this magnet, since this magnet doesn't seem to affect the laser.
Maybe I just wasn't close enough to the magnetic field, I don't know. But I did notice this earlier on in the build as well. I was tacking right next to the magnet and it was not affecting the laser whatsoever. I should mention that I'm running 100% argon. Nitrogen is also acceptable and it's cheaper, but I didn't feel like buying another tank just specifically for this build.
I'm going to do that last foot pad on the ground. And to think, I thought I was going to bring that up the stairs all by myself. Well, I got the handrail all welded up. It seemed to go a little bit better. A couple of the welds turned out pretty good. I got the corners all buffed out. So there's a couple things I want to mention about this welder before we test fit that handrail. The wire feeder is separate from the gun and it slides on like so. You clamp it on the back, and in here are two grooves. When I was trying to weld, I had the wire feeder pushed out too far, which would then cause this to slide out of the groove. If you bring it back a little bit and lock it into place, the wire has something to run off of. And unfortunately, I didn't realize that until I was about 3/4 of the way done. I mean, it will weld really nicely. It's just that for whatever reason, I was kind of struggling. I don't know, maybe it ain't that bad. Maybe I'm being too picky. Whoa. There it fits. So now I ended up getting this mid-rail done off camera. The video ended up becoming a little lengthy. I'm in the process of making part 2, and that will be this bottom rail here. And then my brother's gonna paint everything, and then we will tie everything together using the laser welder from xTool. So I appreciate you guys watching. Big shout out to xTool for making this video possible, and that's it for this one. I'll see you on the next.